A single pebble breaks the surface of a still lake. It seems insignificant, a small act in a vast body of water. But the ripples spread outward, touching every edge, each wave a quiet echo of that initial action. Action is like that pebble. Every choice we make, every movement we take, sends ripples into the world. In nature, we see this truth unfold effortlessly. A bee, guided by instinct, visits a flower. Its action pollinates the blossom, helping it bear fruit. The fruit, in turn, nourishes birds, animals, and humans. One simple act, rooted in survival, becomes part of a much larger web of life. But action is more than physical motion, it carries intention. Consider the migration of birds across continents. They do not move for the sake of movement. They travel with purpose, seeking warmth, sustenance, and survival. Their journey reminds us that true action is never random. It serves a purpose, even if that purpose is hidden from view. In our lives, the actions we take shape the world we experience. A smile shared with a stranger might ease their burden. A moment spent planting a tree might offer shade decades later. Like the pebble's ripples, our actions extend far beyond what we see. Yet, in the rush of daily life, we often forget this. We move through tasks mindlessly, mistaking busyness for productivity. But when we pause to act with intention, something changes. The world slows down. Our choices become clearer. We notice the small details, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the laughter of a friend, the quiet satisfaction of completing a meaningful task. Nature teaches us this wisdom in subtle ways. The roots of a tree, though unseen, act with purpose. They seek water, anchoring the trunk above. Without this silent, persistent action, the tree could not stand. The bird, in its instinctual journey across vast skies, does not question the wind. It simply follows the invisible map within, moving with purpose. And so, we too are invited to act with purpose, to understand that every choice, no matter how small, creates ripples. Our actions shape not only our lives, but also the lives of those around us. The question is not whether our actions have impact. They always do. The question is, what kind of ripples do we want to create? In the quiet moments of purposeful action, we find a deeper sense of being. A gardener, kneeling in the soil, carefully plants a seed. Their hands move with intention, guided by the hope of future growth. In this simple act, there is a connection, a bridge between inner purpose and the outer world. Purposeful action is more than completing tasks or meeting goals. It is the expression of who we are, reflected in what we do. Psychologists often speak of self-determination theory, which suggests that we feel most fulfilled when our actions align with our values. When we engage in work that resonates with our core beliefs, we experience a sense of meaning and connection. Consider the painter absorbed in their art. Time dissolves. The brush moves across the canvas with quiet confidence. This state of complete focus is what psychologists call flow, a mental state where action and awareness merge. In these moments, the purpose behind the action becomes clear. We are not acting to impress or achieve, we are acting to express something essential. Throughout history, spiritual traditions have emphasized the power of mindful action. In Zen Buddhism, practitioners perform simple, everyday tasks with complete attention. The task itself is not the point. The presence brought to the task is. When our actions stem from purpose, we move beyond the surface of life. We become participants in something larger than ourselves. It is here, in the heart of intentional doing, that we encounter a profound truth. Our actions shape not only the world around us, but also the essence of who we are. In today's world, action is often mistaken for productivity. We fill our days with tasks, meetings, and notifications, believing that constant motion equals meaningful progress. But not all action is purposeful. There is a crucial difference between being busy and being truly engaged. Busy work is like a hamster wheel, spinning endlessly but going nowhere. It drains our energy without offering genuine satisfaction. Studies on productivity have shown that when we engage in tasks without clear purpose, we are more likely to feel exhausted and unfulfilled. This is because our minds crave meaning, not just activity. Consider the endless scrolling through social media or the habit of multitasking. These activities create the illusion of productivity but rarely yield lasting results. In contrast, purposeful action feels different. It brings a sense of clarity, even if the task is challenging. When we act with intention, we engage more deeply. The difference lies in presence. When we are busy, our minds scatter in multiple directions. When we act with purpose, our attention anchors in the moment. We become fully present with the task at hand. Nature reflects this principle beautifully. A spider weaving its web does so with singular focus. It does not rush or multitask. It moves deliberately, each thread placed with precision. In the end, the web serves its purpose, providing shelter and capturing food. In our own lives, we can follow this example. By pausing to ask, "Why am I doing this?" Before we act, we create space for intentional action. In that space, we find clarity. We shift from mindless motion to meaningful movement, and with it, a deeper connection to our work, our purpose, and ourselves. Our actions do more than shape the world around us, they shape our inner world as well. The mind and body are deeply connected, and the way we act can influence how we feel. Purposeful, meaningful action has a calming, stabilizing effect on our emotions, while aimless activity often leads to stress and discontent. Neuroscientists have discovered that when we engage in activities aligned with our goals, our brains release dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with motivation, satisfaction, and joy. This is why completing a meaningful task, however small, can create a sense of well-being. The action itself becomes a source of positive reinforcement, encouraging us to continue. But the influence of action goes beyond biochemical reactions. Our sense of identity is, in many ways, constructed through what we choose to do. When we consistently engage in activities that reflect our values, helping others, creating art, learning new skills, we strengthen our sense of purpose. Over time, these actions shape our self-image and influence how we perceive the world. Conversely, when our actions conflict with our values or lack clear intent, we experience cognitive dissonance, a state of mental discomfort. This dissonance can manifest as anxiety, irritability, or a persistent sense of emptiness. The mind, searching for coherence, signals that something is misaligned. Mindful, intentional action helps bridge this gap. It grounds us in the present moment, offering clarity amid life's distractions. Simple practices like journaling thoughts, walking in nature, or performing acts of kindness remind us that how we spend our time directly impacts how we feel. In the end, our emotional landscape is not only influenced by external circumstances, but also by the quiet, consistent choices we make each day. Through purposeful action, we cultivate an inner environment of peace, clarity, and resilience. Nature moves with quiet purpose. Every action in the natural world serves a function: growth, survival, or harmony. A sunflower turns toward the sun, tracking its path across the sky. It does not hesitate or question. It simply follows the rhythm encoded within its being. This instinctual action reflects a larger truth. In nature, nothing is done without purpose. A river flows toward the ocean, carrying nutrients that sustain entire ecosystems. Birds migrate across continents, guided by invisible magnetic fields. Even the seemingly chaotic dance of leaves in the wind plays a role, helping seeds spread, nourishing the soil below. Human action, too, can mirror these natural cycles. When we act with intention, we align ourselves with a deeper pattern, one that connects us to the world around us. The farmer planting crops in spring, the builder laying bricks for a shelter, the teacher guiding young minds all engage in actions that echo nature's purposeful rhythm. However, unlike nature, we often get lost in distractions. We act without clarity, moving from task to task without understanding why. The natural world reminds us to pause and ask, what is the purpose of this action? So, as we move through our days, let us remember the lesson of the pebble in the lake. Our actions ripple outward, touching others, influencing the world beyond what we can see. Take a moment to pause, breathe, and before the next action, ask, why am I doing this? Because in that question lies the key to a life not just of doing, but of meaningful, intentional being. If you found this journey valuable, subscribe and like the video. Let's continue exploring the beauty of purposeful living